This is Mac OS Ken.
iPhone roars into the new year in China. A warning about an OtterBox device, and a phone, an internet communicator, and a medical breakthrough. Are you getting it? It's Friday, the 18th of February, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. You know who's going to be around you longer than anybody? You. You are your most constant companion. What are you doing to help that relationship? Talking to a therapist through BetterHelp could help. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. I was a fan of the phone and the texting with my last BetterHelp therapist. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. As mentioned before, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Mac OS Ken listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. BetterHelp. That's betterhelp.com/macOSKen. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. And thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. The hosannas and heyzannas around iPhone continue. It seems the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology is out with its latest numbers of smartphone sales in China. Apple does not say how many iPhones it sells in a given period in China or any place else. And neither does the Academy. Exactly. What the Academy does is list sales of imported smartphones. Since iPhone is the only smartphone from outside of China that sells in any great number there, folks tend to read number of imported smartphones shipped as number of iPhones shipped and get happy or sad accordingly. Apple watchers got happy with China on Thursday. Apple Insider highlights a note from JP Morgan analyst Samik Chatterjee. Having looked at the China Academy numbers, he sees shipments of international devices, aka iPhones, coming in at 7.3 million units last month. That is way more than the historic January average of 4.8 million units. But Chatterjee's excitement is not just about last month. Since October, the piece says, Chatterjee writes that international smartphone shipments in China tracked at 30.3 million units, 20% higher year over year and 28% higher than the historical average. And again, when we say international, we pretty much mean iPhone. Chatterjee has a buy rating on Apple shares. TipRanks puts his price target on Apple shares at $210. JP Morgan Samik Chatterjee was not the only one checking out iPhone numbers from China. Apple 3.0 ran part of a note from Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani. Like Chatterjee, he too had seen the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology data and had seen the same thing as the JP Morgan analyst. While smartphone sales across the board were down a little bit in China, iPhone sales were up huge. Quoting his note, current consensus estimates are calling for iPhone revenue to decrease by about 33% sequentially and come in about flat year over year in the March quarter, reflecting fairly typical seasonality in the segment. We view this past month's data as suggestive of a strong start to the quarter from an iPhone perspective. Amid a broader decline in the smartphone market for January, iPhones outperformed despite ongoing supply chain constraints, marking a strong start to the year. Mr. Darianani has an outperform rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $210. Apparently missing the memo on iPhone in China, BofA analyst Wamsi Mohan found other reasons to be excited about iPhone sales. Those reasons would be 5G, augmented reality, and virtual reality. Seeking Alpha highlighted a note from Mr. Mohan. While the world seems surprised by the strength of tech sales during the first 2 years of the pandemic, folks are ready to start buying harder. The piece has Mohan indicating that replacement cycles for smartphones are renormalizing, pointing out that a January 2022 survey found that 30% of respondents are likely to upgrade their phones every year, higher than the 23% in March of 2020, but still below the 32% seen in December of 2019. Quoting his note, overall intent to upgrade to an iPhone has been trending positively, with corresponding drop in intent to purchase competitor phones. Our survey also suggests that outside of 5G, the launch of AR glasses can further drive a replacement cycle for iPhone. This is supported by our survey, where in a large market like China, 20% of respondents showed willingness to upgrade to some model of iPhone supporting 5G in order to have a better AR, VR experience. Also, a quarter of the people he and his were talking to were still rocking an iPhone 8 or older. That makes them ripe for an upgrade in his estimation. Apple services are also seen helping to drive iPhone intent to buy. Speaking of which, Mr. Mohan has a buy rating on Apple shares. His price target on the shares is $215. If you have an OtterSpot wireless charging pack from OtterBox, there is a warning about which you need to know. Engadget says the company has found that some early units of the device, released in August of 2019, may swell under multi-stack and higher temperature conditions. Kind of a bummer that, since the piece says one of the key selling points of OtterSpot is that it comprises a base unit and stackable battery packs, which you can use to wirelessly charge devices on the go. The good news? No injuries reported around this issue to this point. According to Engadget, the company is contacting customers it knows bought an affected unit, but if you have any OtterSpot battery packs, it's worth checking the serial numbers. If the number starts with 229, 250, or 259, the unit could be affected by this issue, and it's worth calling customer service at 855-688-7269. OtterBox says it will replace potentially defective batteries at no cost. News of an insane advancement for smartphones. Like, crazy in a good way. 9to5Mac has word of insulin delivery via app. Not getting it delivered to the house through an app, getting it delivered to the body. According to the piece, the Food and Drug Administration has cleared what is described as the first ever smartphone application capable of initiating insulin delivery on both iOS and Android operating systems. The system here comes from Tandem Diabetes Care, and the application ties into the company's T-Slim X2 insulin pump. Tandem Diabetes Care has had an app for a while, but it could only be used to monitor trends and historic data. The feature will come at no additional cost to pump users. It'll roll out to a series of limited launch groups this spring. Availability to all is expected this summer. Remember when the coolest thing you could do with an iPhone was play Super Monkey Ball? Sometimes the future doesn't suck. More news in a moment, but first a word from SimpliSafe, the right way to protect your home. Have you ever wanted to know what's happening at home when you're not home. Take a look at the wireless outdoor camera from SimpliSafe. It lets you see what's happening outside right from your phone and alerts you when anybody approaches so you always know who's there. Now let's go inside to the stuff SimpliSafe has to protect you there. From entry and motion sensors to indoor cameras to hazard sensors like smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Maybe you don't need all of that. Great. SimpliSafe lets you decide which components are right for your home, and it is so easy to get things going. Installing my sensors, keypad, and base station took me under an hour. SimpliSafe is less than $1 a day, and there are no long-term contracts or commitments. You can customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplisafe.com/macOSken. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring. SIMPLI. Go to simplisafe.com/macOSken. Apple's Luca Maestri may be doing a bit of moonlighting soon. Mac Daily News ran a press release Thursday from Nestlé saying it has nominated the Cupertino company's chief financial officer to sit on its board. Of the CFO, Paul Bulk, chairman of the Nestlé board of directors, said, Luca Maestri has an outstanding track record in finance and strategic planning, which includes helping to build one of the world's most valuable companies. You know, knowing who he is, you kind of forget who he was. The press release says prior to Apple, Maestri was CFO at Xerox Corporation and at Nokia Siemens Networks. He started his career at General Motors and took on increasing levels of responsibility around the world, culminating with his appointment as vice president and CFO of GM Europe. He'll get the up or down vote for Nestlé's board at that company's annual general meeting. That is set for Thursday, the 7th of April. From the people who brought you I Love 5 minutes ago, 9 to 5 Mac says your Apple Music Replay 2022 is now available. No, that is not a typo. A month and a half into 2022 is a good time to listen back to the year so far, it seems. According to the piece, the playlist shows the top 100 most played songs, the most listened to artists, and the top 10 albums of the year for each user. Either mine is broken or I am. It is only showing me 10 songs. I think it's broken. I know that there's one song that I've listened to more than the 10 it's showing me, and it's nowhere on the list. That said, I do want to listen to the list again, and again, and again, which is really going to stagnate my Replay 2022 playlist come year's end. If you want to hear how the year's going for you, you can find your Apple Music Replay 2022 at the bottom of the screen under the Listen Now tab in Apple Music. Amanda Seyfried is joining an Apple TV Plus series that I totally forgot was happening. It was almost a year ago that Apple issued a press release announcing The Crowded Room. Apple said then that the anthology series would explore the true and inspirational stories of those who have struggled and learned to successfully live with mental illness. The anthology's 10-episode first season is a captivating thriller inspired by the award-winning biography The Minds of Billy Milligan by Daniel Keyes. It tells the story of Billy Milligan, the first person ever acquitted of a crime because of multiple personality disorder, now known as dissociative identity disorder. Tom Holland, best known for playing Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is on board to play Milligan. Seyfried you've seen in such films as Mank, the Mamma Mia films, and the 2017 Twin Peaks reboot or continuation. The piece this week from Apple Insider says Seyfried will play Rhea, a single mother and clinical psychologist. She cannot help but put her patients first as she faces the most challenging case of her career. Written and executive produced by Academy Award winner Akiva Goldsman, there is no word on when The Crowded Room will land in Apple's stream. Apple seems to be leaning hard into the Jon Stewart promotion. About a week ago, the comedian and host of the Apple TV Plus show, The Problem with Jon Stewart, hit Twitter to announce that show's return. Now the Cupertino streamer is announcing it again, a bit more formally. In a press release issued Thursday, Apple TV Plus heralded the show's return, set for Thursday, the 3rd of March, as well as the show's companion podcast. The streamer also posted a short trailer for the next round of shows. The trailer's sparsely worded description says, stock market, climate, race, media, new problems, new weekly episodes, starting March 3rd on Apple TV+. You can catch the trailer now on YouTube. And finally today, as has been mentioned here earlier this week, I'm not a huge sports fan. I really got into hockey for a while and could see myself doing that again. But it's been years, and it seems just as likely that I won't get into hockey again. Flirted with football, flirted with baseball. About the only big pro sport I've spent no time with any interest in is basketball. So why do I want the latest pair of Powerbeats Pro so much? It's a rhetorical question. I know the answer. Mac Rumors has word of the new stoppers, a limited edition pair meant to celebrate the NBA's 75th anniversary. Designed in collaboration with Canadian gift shop Better, the piece says the special Powerbeats Pro feature Better and NBA logos with blue and red ear tips to match. Despite the futuristic reality of truly wireless stereo earphones with which one can speak, there is something decidedly retro about the design. It screams 1976, with a color scheme that is not red, white, and blue, but red, ivory, and blue. I'm pretty sure that's what gets me in the feels. But I'm not a basketball fan, and I got a great pair of AirPods Pro, and the NBA Powerbeats Pro are $249.99 a pair, and that is a lot to pay for a thing that I don't need, with a retro look that, when in use, I won't even be able to see. They are pretty, though, in a garish, bicentennial kind of way. They go on sale tomorrow, Saturday, the 19th of February, according to the report. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by SimpliSafe. Get a free indoor security camera plus 20% off with interactive monitoring at simplisafe.com/macOSKen. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.